In this installment, we'll be going over the NFC Conference Championship game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams. Uh, Hopefully, this does not go the way of the past two matchups, but we will dive into it. Get ready. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for your NFC Conference Championship games between the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams. Highly anticipated match, guys. Before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. And also, if you are a viewer and not a subscriber, go ahead and click that subscribe button right now. We're currently at 740. The goal is 1K. 1K will be the giveaway for that 1,000th subscriber. All right. Now, let's dive into this matchup we got going here. We have a showdown slate between two rivals. They already played two times this year. In both of those appearances, the San Francisco 49ers have won. Now, if we're going deeper into the history between these two teams, it's been really unlucky for the Los Angeles Rams. They have lost 6 games in a row to this team. Now, this is the 7th matchup right here in the NFC Championship game. A little bit of different casting characters right here. Hopefully, Stafford has gotten away from those turnover-prone plays, and we'll see where we're going to be leaning towards in this matchup. So we have a lot of data going between these two teams, so we know where to lean. So let's start off with the captain position, and we're going to start off with Cooper Kupp. He should be one of the main guys in each and every one of your lineups. You cannot fade this man. And past matchups between the San Francisco 49ers in Week 18, 7 for 7 for 118 and a touchdown. He also chipped in a rushing attempt. That was pretty impressive right there because they rarely use him in that capacity. So it was really shocking that they did. And then in Week 10, 11 to 13 for 122. Didn't get in the end zone, but that usage is tough to compare, tough to beat. You have to put him in your lineup, okay? Cooper Kupp is a mainstay. He's been the number one clear wide receiver this year, all right? Has some big plays against Tampa Bay in that secondary. Now he's going up against a little bit worse secondary here in the San Francisco 49ers. So I expect him to have an even better day, okay? Don't forget, 9 for 183 and 1 TD against Tampa Bay. Now, let's see what he's going to do against the 49ers. Cooper Kupp, definite at the captain position. Next, we have Deebo Samuel, another dual threat wide receiver right here. Now, they've been kind of adjusting him totally to the rushing game. He's still getting a decent amount of receiving, but not what we saw in the middle of the year and earlier in the season. It was kind of like mid-season where they was like, all right, Deebo Samuel should be used as a running back, and they really gradually went towards that way. All right, a little blip on the injury scene with the knee, but he should be fine. He's not on the injury report. Okay, we saw a little bit of bumps and bruises in that game against Green Bay. He should be at 100% in this game against the Rams. He'll be much needed. Okay, 2 key cogs in your lineups there. Cooper Kupp and Deebo Samuel. High price, but they are needed. All right, let's continue to go down. Let's find some other gems at that captain position. I think Matt Stafford will be one of those guys we can go to. In that first performance against San Francisco in Week 10, he only had 11 fantasy points, 26 for 41 attempts were there. He did have 2 interceptions that hurt and only 1 touchdown. In that second meeting, 21 to 32, 238 yards, 3 TDs, which was good, and 2 interceptions. If those 2 interceptions were there, he would have definitely cleared 20 fantasy points. That's what we're looking for when we're putting a QB in the captain spot. And I'm only using elite quarterbacks in the captain spot, okay? It has to be someone that is groundbreaking. Either he can rush or really throw the ball. Stafford fits that category. Almost 6,000 yards passing this season. This is a very high-octane offense. And with that running game, I think Matt Stafford can pick apart this San Francisco 49ers defense. I think he can definitely get 2 touchdowns. We're hoping for 3. And he should stay away from the interceptions. He's been spot on in the past 2 weeks in the playoffs. All right, really taking it up another notch, taking out Tom Brady in that previous game. So I like Matt Stafford at 10,800. We're not going Jimmy Garoppolo in the captain spot. If you want to play him, then you can in the flex, but not in the captain spot. He's too volatile. He's always a guarantee for at least an interception. And in the two previous matchups, in week 18, 17 fantasy points. That was one of his better performances all year long. And then in week 10, only 15 fantasy points. All right. We're not really expecting a huge passing game out of him. It can happen if things are forced that way. If the Rams get up big, then they're going to have to lean on Jimmy G and get. He has the weapons. That's the question mark. But him throwing outside the numbers is a big problem. He's really good when it's in between the seams, up the middle where he can see if it's anything outside the numbers. That's when the turnovers come for Jimmy G. There were a lot of question marks there. So we'll bump him down to a flex play, but we still like his weapons that he has. He has a ton of weapons. They have upside. Jimmy G is the question mark. Next guy that can be at the captain position will be Odell Beckham. He's been one of the more frequent red zone options for this offense as of late. As you can see, a TD in week 19, a TD in 17, 16, and when he first came in 12, 13, and 14, he has 3 touchdowns in a touchdown in each of those games. So they really are looking towards Odell Beckham. All the eyes are going to be on Cooper Kupp. And then they forget Odell Beckham, top tier talent here. If everything gets right in his head, he has all the talent in the world to definitely expose this defense. He finally get an opportunity to get to the Super Bowl. Much deserved because this man's been on a roller coaster of a career. So it'll be a really good spot for him to get into the Super Bowl. Finally in a situation where he's prospering other than the New York Giants, okay? So Otto Beckham is definitely someone we're going to look at. I think one of the sneakier options at captain for this second game on Sunday is going to be Cam Akers. All right. Cam Akers got the full workload against Tampa Bay, despite the fact he had 2 fumbles and 2 fumbles lost. Okay, against Tampa Bay. They almost made that comeback, but Cam Akers. They were consistent with him. He's a big weapon in the receiving game as well. 3 for 3 for 20 yards. So I definitely see him having a good day going up against San Francisco. Provides a nice burst. And Sony Michel is a little bit dinged up, and now they got their main guy back. And Cam Akers, a big surprise that he even made it to the end of this season with that injury that he had. A lot of people thought it was definitely over, but he believed in himself and rehabbed very well, and he's come back and looked like his old self. Love Cam Akers as a flex play for Sunday. Let's go to we got 2 more. We got 2 more guys that I like for captain. Next will be George Kittle. This man is a big X factor in each and every game that he plays. In that week 18 matchup, only 5 for 10 yards. Did have 7 targets, so you like the upside that he was getting targeted by Jimmy Garoppolo, but it just wasn't effective. What's been happening lately, they've just been using George Kittle in the run blocking game because he's a very good run blocker, top tier talent there. But then you gotta balance it, man. He's great at blocking and great as a receiving tight end. So I think they need to balance that a little bit more and get him involved. He's a big X factor. And in week 10? Week 10, 5, 4, 7. Again, the same amount of numbers. But in this one, he had 50 yards and had a touchdown. So you see that upside there. Still a top 5 tight end in the league, George Kittle. We can put him as a captain play as well. Um, this next one, it's a tough matchup. We'll put him more in the flex. Let's go over to the flex. We'll clear out the captains, and this will be our start with the flex plays. And we'll start off with Elijah Mitchell. And I like him as a flex play because of his usage. In each and one of these, look at each and every one of these games, he's getting around about 20 touches in each of them against Green Bay, Dallas, Rams. It doesn't matter. All right, he's getting 20 plus touches each and every game. That's a lot of upside there. You get an opportunity. Maybe he can get an end zone. Maybe he can break one for a big run. Maybe he gets a reception that goes really far or gets a touchdown that way. So the options are open with Eli Mitchell. Definitely as a flex play. Can be a sneaky captain. because of the usage. So definitely keep him in mind. He's going to be my top flex play for this game. Okay, let's continue going down. I already spoke about Cam Akers. The number 2 wide receiver in this offense has been Brandon Ayuk. Up and down season here. A lot of people thought he was going to be the number 1, but Deebo Samuel clearly still was. That was a lot of preseason hype, but Brandon Ayuk finished the season strong. Didn't do much in that Green Bay game. Obviously, the weather. He had that one drop pass as well, so they kind of went away from him. And it was not a lot of offense in that Green Bay game. Now you got great weather in Los Angeles in a dome, and this should be a little more high scoring affair between the 49ers and the LA Rams. So Brandon Ayuk definitely is someone we can go to for our lineup builds. And then we're going to continue to go down. Van Jefferson will be the wide receiver 3 in this offense. He's more of the deep guy. Currently questionable, so you're going to have to wait on news. Hopefully, Sunday morning we get another update on him. If he's out, then the options will be limited, but they can lean on Tyler Higbee, who we're going to talk about now. Um, that can be a high upside, cheaper option in your flex. Okay, had a decent amount of targets against Tampa Bay. That was surprising to see because that week against Arizona he only had 3 for 4. We kind of thought we forgot about him. He had a strong finish in that Week 18 matchup against San Francisco, 6 for 8 for 55 and 2 touchdowns there. That was a plus. Let's see if in Week 10 he had another good game. Yes, got an end zone yet again. 3 for 5 for 20 yards in a TD. Tyler Higbee is going to be bumped up in our flex positions, especially if Van Jefferson is not okay. They're going to be leaning on Tyler Higbee and going to be leaning more towards that run game. Okay. So Sony Michel, not really looking at him. There would have to be an injury for me to go towards him. A big downgrade in touches after they seen that Cam Akers was 100%. So we don't need to go there, and we're not gonna bank on injuries. Like that's impossible. All right. Defense wise, if I had to choose one, I'm choosing the Rams. They did a very great job against Tom Brady. Obviously the comeback, but that's Tom Brady. All right. He was fighting tooth and nail in that game. But the key to this Rams defense, obviously, they have Jalen Ramsey, but also the plus is that pass rush. Aaron Donald, Floyd, they got a ton of guys up there that can get and provide pressure on Jimmy Garoppolo. This is obviously a top 5 team of stopping the run as well. So love the Rams defense. If I had to choose one, not going 49ers defense, but I would go Rams defense. Sprinkle them in just a little bit, okay? If things get out of hand, they are the home team and they have a ton of talent. All right. Don't forget about Von Miller as well. If we're looking at kickers, definitely have no problem going towards them between Robbie Gould and Matt Gay. Let's see their numbers in the previous matchups. Week 18, 10, that's solid. If that my kicker's getting double-digit fantasy points, that is a plus. And in week 10, he had 9. So right on the cuffs. No problem with going with Robbie Gould or Matt Gay. Let's see if Matt Gay has something similar in the 2 matchups. Came in with some big kicks against Tampa Bay last week, 13 fantasy points. That was a plus. In week 18, he only had 7, and in week 10, he only had 4. So different type of game there. They were big. They were just scoring a lot of touchdowns in that one. So Robbie Gould, Matt Gay would be the 2 kickers I have no problem going with. Let's clear out these guys and finish off with the bottom feeders at flex. That can have some big upside. Let's see if we can find a gem here. Juwan Jennings has really emerged as a number 3 wide receiver. Some big performances against Dallas, 3 for 29, and against the Rams, 6 for 94 and 2 TDs. If this Rams defense does something similar to the last time they faced them, focused in on Ayuk and Debo. You can see Juwan Jennings getting open. If it's not him, it'll be George Kittle, okay? So definitely someone we can put in at that back end of flex just in case if we have just enough salary, that's fine. Kyle's use check is someone that's getting a couple touches each and every game. You really need him to get into the end zone, but don't forget that he gets used, all right? Against Green Bay, came through with 2 clutch runs. A couple runs were on third down situations, and they used Kyle Juszczyk. If he's able to break one, then he can really break the slate. He only has 2 touchdowns this year, so that's really a shot in the dark, but someone just to be notified if you have that a little bit amount of salary left. Now down below here, I don't think I'll go with anyone else. We got Blanton, which is the backup tight end right here. He got a touchdown last week against Tampa Bay, so that's pretty rare. That's something that you don't see coming. But like I said, focus on your main guys in your lineup. The captain, 1, 2, 3, 4, and your 4 flexes. Whatever you have left, then you might be forced in a situation where you just have to dumpster dive and put that guy in there. But if you feel comfortable with everyone else in your lineup, then fine. It's okay. You don't want to change everything up and then you don't feel comfortable with the other guys in your lineup. All right. So let's go to our mainstays that we're going to have in each and every lineup. That's going to be Cooper Kupp, number 1. Number 2 will be Deebo Samuel. So we got both of those guys. And number 3 will be Cam Akers as a little bit of salary saver. The usage is there. I seen the burst in his run. So I'm really, really bullish on Cam Akers. So I love those 3 guys. And if we're looking for salary saver flex plays, that should be a mainstay in your lineup. That will be Tyler Higbee as number 1, especially if Van Jefferson is out. And we'll go with don't forget about Eli Mitchell. All right, I think Eli Mitchell will definitely be a good mid-range flex play just because of his usage. Okay, all right, don't forget about those 2 guys. Now, let me know in that comment section down below if you have any other ideas at captain or the flex position. Definitely, we could discuss that. See what you guys think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MessageSD, and I'll be back with another video very soon. Peace out, guys.